All right, let's take you to Ingersoll, Ontario for an announcement on electric vehicles. The Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is speaking. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is also in attendance. Let's listen in.
Pitch to a whole bunch of different companies. Last time I was standing with Premier Ford, an announcement like this, it was an announcement at Nokia that featured a real strong emphasis on research and development here in Canada for the Finnish telecommunications giant. We pointed out there was, millions of dollars invested by governments to draw them in. But every government in the world would love to invest millions of dollars to draw in places like this. There's a huge competition around the world to try and make sure that we are part of the future, that we're securing future for communities, for workers and their families. And yes, government can step up with money, and we do. But the best selling point we have is always, invariably and inevitably, the extraordinary workers at plants like this. So thank you very much for everything you guys are doing. You see, 8 months ago, we announced investments to retool the CAMI EV assembly plant here in Ingersoll. Then GM began working to get CAMI ready for electric vehicle production. And today, as Mark pointed out, in record time, we're opening the first full-scale commercial electric vehicle plant in Canada. Today,
we are opening the first large-scale factory for the production of electric vehicles in North America. This is excellent news for our automobile workers and for the middle class. It's also good news for the environment. We are transitioning to electric vehicles, and by doing so, we ensure that our children will be able to have clean air and good jobs for generations to come.
We knew we'd get results. Now, as the first BrightTrop electric vans come off the line, we get to see these results. And it's great to be here with Doug and Vic, but usually there's 4 of us for these announcements, and our friend François-Philippe Champagne, who worked incredibly hard as industry minister. If he were here, he'd be pointing out, Mark, the time of the text he sent you to get this rolling. He is tireless, as all our team members are, in drawing in announcements, and he really wishes he could be here today, but we have him over in Europe right now securing more deals for more workers across this country to be able to deliver for more jobs for Canadians. And of course, I want to thank the people at GM and Unifor and Premier Ford and his team for working together as partners to make this happen. But mostly, again, we need to talk about Canadian workers who, your skills, your ambition, and your hard work get the economy going and help us convince big companies like GM to continue investing in Canada. Just a few weeks ago, I was in the Indo-Pacific to strengthen our economic ties with the region, to create good jobs in Canada and more opportunities for our businesses. We know how important Asia is to the growing global economy. So during that G20 in Indonesia, I spoke to a room filled with business leaders to pitch them on what we're doing here in Canada, on why investing in Canada is exactly the right thing. So it's not just people who are as close as GM is, who sees up front all the potential that Canada has, but people from around the world noticing what Canada has. We have the values that make us reliable partners to invest in, to grow in, to commit to generations worth of work. I've talking with some of the workers here this morning, been here for 25, 30 years, seen all the different iterations of it. And that's what people get. When they invest in Canada, you get that reliability for decades, for generations to come. We also have the raw materials that the global economy needs. We know that there's a lot of questions a whole bunch of companies around the world have around the supply of essential goods, of raw materials, of energy they're going to need. We've seen Russia as an unreliable partner. We've seen increasing challenges from China. We know we need to be delivering those raw materials from reliable, friendly, environmentally protecting countries like Canada And there's a huge amount of interest in Asia and around the world at Canada being part of how we move forward as a world. And most importantly, of everything I was selling businesses around the world on, it's Canadians themselves. Our strong, educated, diverse workforce that is the envy of the world. With immigration, we're actually growing faster than all other G7 countries. Our education system, our livable communities, the opportunities we have to build bright futures for people from coast to coast to coast, despite and because of the transformations in the global economy, gets that mix of ambition and forward thinking, roll up your sleeves hard work that has characterized and defined Canadians for the longest time. We're creating a whole supply chain here in Canada so that auto workers here in Ontario will be able to build electric vehicles with batteries made in Quebec from nickel, mined in Northern Ontario, and lithium from Alberta, with made in Canada steel and aluminum that is some of the cleanest in the world. I can tell you that international investors are noticing. For example, they're noticing full on that with our government's efforts, we've gone from 5th in the world to 2nd in the world when it comes to the battery supply chain. We're growing a strong middle class in Canada so workers, their families, and everyone can succeed. Il y a encore des politiciens qui pensent qu'il faut faire un choix.
There are still some politicians who think that we need to choose between the environment and the economy. When we see what is being built here and elsewhere across the country, it shows that the environment and building the economy need to go hand in hand. The factory being built and announced today will be producing around 50,000 vehicles, electric vehicles per year between now and 2025. These are concrete results, and this is exactly what we will continue to deliver.
Challenges in the way we do things and the way we need to do things to make sure the future generations have the best chances ever. But that's what we're up to as a task. 7 years ago when we first took office, we talked about the fact that climate change was both a massive challenge and a real opportunity. Well, for the first few years, we ended up talking much more about the challenge it represented than the opportunity. But over the past while, with a whole bunch of great announcements with Doug and with premiers across the country that go straight to this, people are seeing tangibly that this means good jobs now and good jobs reliably into the future. That's what people want for their families, for their communities, for their country, and that's what together we're delivering. Thank you very much, and now it's my intense pleasure to introduce my friend, Premier Doug Ford. Doug.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a great morning it is here. And let me thank the Prime Minister for joining me today to celebrate an amazing Made in Ontario milestone. And I also want to give a shout out to my #1 salesperson. I always call him our best salesperson in Ontario, Minister Vic Fideli, and your partner, Minister Champagne, as well. You both work so hard. And my great MPP, Ernie Hardeman, and Mayor Brian Petrie. And I have to tell you, folks, I called Ernie the other day. It was yesterday. It was his birthday. He served with my dad. So what are you, 25 years old now? You know something? All the very best, Vic. I want to thank the team from CAMI. As the Prime Minister said, you know, this plant wouldn't even be here without folks like yourself, hardworking people, and we want to thank you. Vic played a major part in making today possible with his tireless efforts, showing the world there's no better place to invest than right here in Ontario. Let me also thank the team at GM, as I just mentioned, but Marisa, thank you so much. Dave, thank you, and Mark for inviting us to celebrate this incredible milestone, because GM is making history with the first full-scale electric vehicle production facility in Canada, which will be their EV hub for the Bright Drop commercial vehicle line. And our government couldn't be prouder to support GM's incredible $2 billion investment manufacturing and R&D with our own support of more than $250 million. And I need to thank the federal government who have matched our investment and shown their commitment to making Ontario a world leader in EV manufacturing. The results we're seeing are nothing short of exceptional. Over the past 2 years, we have secured game-changing investments in our auto sector with more than $16 billion in new investments, including more than $12.5 billion for Made in Ontario electric vehicles and battery production. These investments are being made in communities across the province, from Windsor to Alliston to Oshawa, and today, right here in Ingersoll. These investments in hybrids, electric vehicles, and EV batteries will create jobs now and in the future. They're putting us on the path to being a global auto manufacturing powerhouse once again, from the critical minerals needed to produce batteries in the north to our skilled auto workers in southern Ontario, and clean steel manufacturing in Hamilton at the Fasco and Algoma up in Sault Ste. Marie, powered by clean Ontario-made energy. We're leveraging every part of the EV supply chains. We have everything we need to make the cars of the future in Ontario by Ontario workers from start to finish. GM's commitment to this plant is a massive vote of confidence in our province and our incredible workers. Together with partners like GM, we're building Ontario for today and for tomorrow. But my friends, we know there's more to do. We must stay focused, and we can't take anything for granted. As we navigate global economic uncertainty, our government has been hard at work building an economy that can weather any storm, an economy that never loses sight of what's most important: helping people succeed, helping workers succeed. That starts with creating economic conditions that attract investments and growth in good jobs. We cut red tape to reduce the cost of doing business in Ontario by $7 billion annually, year after year. We've kept taxes for people and businesses low. We're investing in skilled trades and a workforce that's prepared for the jobs of today and tomorrow. We're building roads and highways like Highway 413, the Bradford Bypass. We're investing $1 billion investment to build the road to the Ring of Fire, and we're making investments to improve the province's competitive advantage and ensure that Ontario remains the greatest place anywhere to live, work, and raise a family. And while the world faces economic uncertainty and our challenges with inflation are not over, one thing I have complete confidence in are the people of Ontario. There are no harder working people on earth, and I know that together we will accomplish incredible things. Together we will build Ontario with a great workforce